What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to review Port Adelaide versus Essendon at Marvel Stadium that just happened a few moments ago. An 84-point demolition job by the Power was a great sight to watch in a game that meant absolutely nothing to both teams, but overall Port Adelaide stood up, they showed some pride and did the job quite well. So let's get straight into it and just talk about a few things that happened in the game for round 22 and my review. So all I want to say is simply, we just watched the Jeremy Finlayson show. It was absolutely fantastic to see what he produced out of the middle, straight from the first outset. The first centre bounce, he didn't get the tap obviously because Draper's a man mountain himself, but the way he was crumbing the footy at the opening clearance and put it inside 50 and instantly was able to create an option inside 50 for goal and boat kick the first goal within 15 seconds. So an amazing opportunity by the Power this was to get a big win, I think, because Essendon obviously were teetering and I think they had they obviously lost to GWS last week, and I was really thinking that maybe they'd come in this week and cause us an upset with nothing really on the line for Port. But as we've shown time and time again, when it comes to playing a bottom side, we just simply get the job done. And I think what the overall main takeaway from this game is that we showed a lot of pride, and out of everything that's happened during the week in the media and everything that's been scrutinised in our season as a whole, to isolate this game as a performance that was just well-drilled 4 quarters and simply just really impressive, and it was really enjoyable to sit there, know that there's nothing on the line and just watch 4 quarters of Port Adelaide footy. And that's what I'm taking away from this is that it was generally just exciting to watch. Not one player had a bad game today, which was great. I think if Finlayson wasn't best on ground, it definitely was Aliir, and Sam Powell-Pepper had 20 and kicked 4. Butters had 3 and kicked 20, had 25 and kicked 3 goals, and it was just sharing the love. It was a nice little, I would call it a family performance by Port Adelaide in the hangover time slot. It was something I didn't expect us to do that. I thought, maybe we'll just chime in with a 5-6 goal win. It'll be a competitive game and we'll get the job done. Or, we'd get absolutely pumped by Essendon and not turn up. But it was the way we turned up for 4 quarters and simply showcased our skills and natural progression. And it was great to see that Aliir could play a one-on-one role and absolutely dominate Peter Wright. Now, Peter Wright's kicked 50 goals for the year. He's been absolutely sensational throughout the whole time. And for him to come up against Port Adelaide with Aliir and Jonas as your key defenders, you would be licking your lips. And Aliir's just simply outplayed him and dominated him right across the board. And the only goal that Peter Wright got was from Tom Jonas having an absolute brain fade. And I think he was over the boundary line, and he kicked a snap goal, but besides that, he didn't really have any impact on the game, and Essendon really didn't contribute to the game at all besides the last 10 minutes in the first quarter. And there was patches, in that third quarter, I'm thinking, here we go. They're going to come back here and they're going to make this be a 4 or 5 goal win, and out of all the work we've done, we just take the foot off the gas. But the way we did it, the way we were able to put the foot to the floor and kick, I think it was 9 goals in that last quarter. That was the most impressive thing. And, it was the way that we, as I said, contributed to the game. And everyone contributed to the game as well, which was really impressive. And it now means that we go into next week's showdown with a percentage boost. And regardless if we win or lose the showdown, we won't probably finish bottom. Bottom as in underneath the Crows, unless they pump us, which I think is unlikely. I think we go into next week pretty good stead. And Finlayson is obviously on report as well, but there's nothing in that tackle at all, I don't believe. And it'd be very, very stiff to get a week for that. That is just not, I don't even think it's a dangerous tackle in the sense of the action, but it's not a dangerous tackle in the way that he landed or anything like that. The opponent was fine, and there was more in the fight afterwards than there was in the actual tackle. So I think Finlayson stays in the team next week, Dixon as well in the ruck, and we move into the showdown. I think it's quite funny that we I try and review this game because in a sense it was, as a lot of supporters will say, it was a nothing game. It was just something that we had to do, and it probably wallpapers over the cracks a little bit of what's happening at the moment. And at least we did what we were expected to do. And as Port Adelaide fans, we're beat up. There's not a lot of love. There's not a lot of commitment at the moment. And I think that's obviously respected and acknowledged right across the board. And we have every right to be filthy, but the way I'm looking at this game in particular is I get to start my week happy knowing that Port Adelaide got the job done, got a win by 84 points. And I've never seen us kick under 10 points in a game with that many scoring shots. I've never seen us kick 10 goals too in my lifetime, I don't think, because it just happens so rarely. And to only kick 8 points for a game, to get over 140 points for the first time this year, we haven't scored big scores throughout the whole year. And to keep Essendon to 10 goals, which has been our defensive unit throughout the whole year, 10, 11, 12 goals, on average 75 points, I think it is, that we concede. We've only had 73, I think, as an average for 4 scores as well. So to score 146, double what our average is, and kick 22 goals and share that across the board was absolutely impressive. I think that's the main thing is, that's the way we want to play footy. Direct, we want to go through the corridor, utilise our centre clearances. We haven't scored goals from centre clearances throughout the whole year. It's always been on the negative front, and every time we do that, you see how damaging we are, and just the way we move that footy from that clearance and the way we are able to score. Not just we utilise turnovers and forward half pressure, and to score from stoppages. I think we had about 7 of our 11 goals in the first half from stoppages. That's really impressive. That's midfield work rate. I think Wines, Houston from half back, Boak again impressive as usual. Rosie, Butters. It was their doing, and that's what created chances up forward for the Marshalls, the Power Peppers, the Finlaysons, Dixon, who was impressive without hitting the scoreboard well. And McEntee as well, who's really impressive around the goals. His pressure was phenomenal, and I think with that it becomes a lot more of a well mixed cohort. And if we can utilise what we do from our halfback turnovers and transition footy, and then mix that with stoppages, we're going to be a high scoring team again, and that's something we've got to look at going into next year. And Ken Hinkley's got to very much, I reckon, utilise this game as a blueprint to how exactly we want to play going forward, and not be and pick our moments when to be defensive, which we did quite well. Pick our moments when we want to attack, which again we did quite well. Probably utilise going inside 50 a little bit better, and that's been a problem for the last however many years. But in saying that, delivery inside 50 was a lot better. Georgiadis' leading patterns were a lot better. Marshall's patterns were a lot better. Dixon one-on-one is still an issue in terms of our choices and times we went through there. Obviously, he was 2-on-1 a lot of the time. I think with Finlayson, though, playing up the ground, it really creates a different dynamic going forward, which again, Port Adelaide play best when it's a little bit less unpredictable. A little bit more unpredictable, sorry. And when we're quite predictable, it's good. But if you throw in something that's a little bit left field or unpredictable, and I think Finlayson's brought that to the team, when you throw in something like that, it creates a game like it happened today against the Bombers. Free flowing scoring, not too much stress. And I'm not going to paint this as a massive, fantastic win that we're so impressed by that next year we're going to come back and finish top 2. Blah, blah. I'm not going to extend it to that. I'm just saying that this is the blueprint we can use, and if games are like this next year, then Port Adelaide's going to be a lot different. And that's why, having this type of game, whilst there's no pressure on it, there's no stakes on the game. Essendon are bottom 4. They've got nothing they really want to do. It's hard to get yourself up for a game that means absolutely nothing. It's basically a pre-season game. And Port Adelaide treated it like a training drill. And that's what it was, a training drill. Training helps you get better. So if you're going to utilise this game as a training drill and win by 84 points against a team that couldn't give a shit, sorry Essendon fans, then simple. Utilise it and put it into next year. Thank you very much for watching, Port fans, at this review of Port Adelaide versus Essendon. 84-point win in the Jeremy Finlayson show presented by Marvel Stadium. Absolutely fantastic result. I'm happy. I'm going to enjoy this win and go into next week prepare for the showdown. So thank you so much for watching once again. Subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content. My name is Anthony, and as always, Jezza Finlayson, come pair.